Well, good to be back home. Felt like we were gone for a long time, and it's really hard when you're dealing with injuries and you're tired and you've been on the road for a week. It's hard. So we had a really good practice yesterday. I think everybody was much more spirited to be back, in their own beds and back home. So it was a tough stretch, but it is what it is. You got to get through it and find a way to go get one tomorrow.
What's it like just having Amir be able to practice?
He did not practice, so I don't know how to tell you that.
But
neither did Dupree.
Going into the game with one practice with him, you said it was a little hard.
It's hard because you practice him more to get his conditioning, more to see how he can deal with contact, but you get in from Maryland at 2:30 in the morning, so everybody else is exhausted. So it was really hard. And then to have to come back and play a noon game, again, I don't think I complain a lot, but we weren't really done a whole lot of favors with that whole schedule. So I think that Amir, once some time passes, he'll get in better shape, and be able to help. But I thought he just gutted it out and played as well as he could.
Was he not playing or practicing today, or was that just precautionary? Did he have?
Yeah, precautionary. Dupree doesn't practice. Dupree, he didn't play great versus Ohio State, but he was in pain. That stretch was very tough on him. So, just got to find a way to keep grinding it out.
You don't complain much. Why pick this one? Why pick this battle?
Well, I think if you look at it, I don't, I understand they want to play games in New York and they get kind of in the East or whatever. But I don't agree with taking a home conference game away from a team. Okay, and then if you're going to do that, again, there's other teams. It's hard, the scheduling, The factor of us having a Super Bowl, I know was difficult for our building for whatever reason. Northwestern having a new arena. All those things are factors, and that's why I do try to stay away from it. But if you're going to take a home game away, don't make us play on the road at Maryland at 8:30, then come back at noon. Throw us a bone there. So, I do understand that there's a lot of things that go into it. But I do also know we play the most one-day preps in the league as well. So if you're going to do all those plus take a home game away, maybe there's a little bit better way to kind of figure it out. And but again, we got to do better. That's not an excuse for why we don't play well. It's just tough to go through that when you're banged up as well.
With Nate, is there anything besides just knocking down shots that you can do to help him improve from before?
I think he's playing really hard, and certainly offensively, we have not put up great numbers, since Reggie was out and then Amir was down. I guess Penn State was the only one, but I think the rest of them we didn't. So I don't necessarily know if it's Nate as well as when you have to scrap the playbook in the middle of the year and you're on the road, it's hard. So I got to continue to put him in positions, where he can find points a little bit better. And there's always shot selection with certain guys, maybe 2 or 3 a game. But other than that, I can't fault Nate for anything right now. I thought it was very clear we were exhausted in that game. We defended. We got to the foul line. We were 10 for 20. We just couldn't make shots.
How much does it affect everybody offensively when there's only one inside presence with Jordan and then they're triple teaming him and they're making it hard on him?
Big time. Yeah, big time. It's again, as you're practicing going into a year and then Curry goes down, well, you can adjust to Curry going down because I don't know the exact amount, but we had time to adjust to that. But then you knew we were thin to begin with, and then you take another one and then Amir out really hard. So that's part of, I think once we get this week break, it will really help us. But we're kind of swimming upstream, trying to figure it out on the fly without guys being able to practice. So you really try to keep it simple. You don't want to throw too much at them because then it just confuses everybody.
Do you think sometimes guys rely on jump shooting a lot more than maybe you want them to get to the basket a little bit more because of the lack of inside presence? You want to get the...
Well, it's easier said than done when you if you don't have low post threats, Bakari and Gass, you know, they play very hard and they give us certain things, but they're not threats on the block. So then what do? You know, so I mean, sure, we want to get to the basket, but you know, sometimes you got to take what you can get as well. But I think that as if Amir gets healthier, I think we'll be able to get more offensive flow.
As you stick with the main guys, what's the message to Isaiah during the stretch of him not playing very much?
We'll play better, you know. It's not like he's playing great right now, so I think it's just learning and growing and understanding how to play at this level. You know, I'd love to play him because we don't have a whole lot of depth. You know, so it's just him learning and growing. I think it's with certain guys, it's very, very hard for an adjustment from high school to here, and it's taken him some time, but he'll get there.
I mean, how is he handling failure? Can't imagine he's used to failing.
Failure's a little harsh, Doogie. Come on, but I mean, I would just say it's a different role. You know, I think that one of the reasons why Nate came here was, I mean, Isaiah came here to learn under Nate for a year. You know, and it's been a big adjustment for him. You know, bigger than probably he would have thought. But that doesn't mean that he can't be a really good player. I think he can. It's just, you know, you're thinking so much, which a lot of freshmen do. You know, so it'll take time, but I think he'll become a good player. He just got to grow and learn.
On the flip side, Jameer, freshman, how impressive was he last week?
Well, he was impressive versus Penn State. You know, he had his moments where, you know, he can get open looks, and obviously in overtime he was terrific making those shots. So Jameer is, you know, he just keeps fighting, keeps playing hard, stays in the gym. He's got the really good mentality. You know, he's going to make mistakes like everybody else does, but I was happy for him that he was able to, you know, on his birthday with his family there and everything like that, he provided a great lift. And we're not a great three-point shooting team, so he helps us there.
Is there any added importance, given the fact that you guys are on the road as much, to take care of business tomorrow?
Well, I mean, we're 1-1 our last 6, so we need to win a game. But we got, what, 9 left? I think we have 4 at home, 5 on the road. So, and again, when you only get 8 conference home games, you need to win as many as you can. So yeah, we got to find a way to get a win versus Northwestern at home. You know, it's always important to win in your building. And, you know, I do think the more time, you know, we get with this new team, the better we're going to become. You know, it's just a situation that we got to handle and continue to grow from.
Adding a shooter like Amir help playing against zone if you do again?
Yeah, definitely. That'll help. You know, I thought that not having him last time, really not having Jordan a whole lot because he was in foul trouble, it was really hard. You know, so, you know, Amir more than anything is a playmaker. He's a smart player. He can attack, and he's a threat. So yeah, that's important. Very important.
Whether it's Ohio State or anything else, anything about the league surprised you so far through, you know, whatever we're at here, the halfway point?
No, not really. I mean, I think that, you know, I thought us full strength, we were going to be right there, you know, compete with anybody. Purdue's not a surprise. I haven't watched Michigan State much. I know they're really talented. The weird loss was probably what Ohio State did at Ohio State, but it's tough to win on the road. You know, but then you look at, you have Ohio State, Indiana, and Illinois. Those 3 coaches were fired. So that's going to be a transition. Wisconsin had to start over young, you know. So, no, not really. I mean, I think that, you know, people think the league is down, but I think it's going to get better and better. You know, Maryland is really good. If they didn't lose Justin Jackson and Ivan Bender, they could be another team that could have won the league. So injuries are a part of it. Everybody kind of, you know, some deal with it, some don't. Like last year, I don't remember dealing with a whole lot to the end, you know, till the Middle Tennessee game. So, and, you know, we were a really good team because of it.
Coach, I apologize if this was already addressed, but what's it been like in the new facility the last week since moving in and just getting practice time?
Well, we haven't been here in a week, so, but yeah, it's awesome. You know, it's the guys. I think that it's a little weird moving in the middle of the season because everybody's in a fog in the middle of the season. But I will say that, you know, it's not fully functional yet, but when it does get with TVs and all that and the cafeteria, I think, you know, somebody asked me today, it's the best in the country. I don't know if it's the best, but it's up there. And, you know, from our space standpoint, you know, you got food right below you. You got everything at your disposal from men's basketball. training, weight room's not really done yet, but academics are right there and all that stuff. So it's top notch and well needed. So I think our guys are excited about it.